Alright, I think we are doing good on this. And by the way, we're in pre-stream mode, so anyone that is on stream right now that wants to do their own thing. Okay, suppression noise. Okay, we're going to turn off suppression noise because it doesn't look like we don't need that right now. Everything else, no, we don't need suppression on the output noise. So we're good to go. To anyone who is on stream or anyone who has been on stream, tonight I'll be the one that's going to be helping hosting Gamertech stuff tonight. But we are not going to be doing the short-lived conversations. We'll be doing uncut conversations for this podcast. So we're going to check our stream and we're going to be sure everything is working correctly. Let's be sure. And being sure that is right. That is good. No, we are good to go on stream. And to anyone who is tuning in, please, if you want to ask questions, ask them in the stream chat or Discord. Anything else will have to be moderated by our good moderators. So we're setting up stuff. So this is just setting up. So anyone that's joining on or even, oh, come on. Don't drop frames already. Let's be sure that our stream is working perfectly well. So our tonight's guest, we're going to be having Orion. We're going to have myself, Nightshade, and one new person. Now, we don't normally have new people on stream. But as of now, we decided to have new people on our little stream. To anyone who doesn't know how this works, we do introductions. I am Ace Production Live. I do stuff that's live stream convention stuff, live stream conventions, talk about certain topics, make stuff, make art, do things, you name it. The reason why we don't do this very often on here, we're going to say this right now, but I will say that even though people are cringing away, this podcast is supposed to be something that's separated from the foundation of FNGR streams, the MLP and Madness streams podcast. I used to do podcast streams a long time ago on stream, but I don't do them occasionally because I gotta have people involved. We used to have streams about cons or just stream about coverage. I used to do them, but as of now, I have switched my content around. I will not be doing that anymore. As of now, we are not going to be doing that on any more streams because of other reasons. And hello to anyone that's on chat. Someone just, it's setting up right now, so don't worry about it. So right now, I got my stream stuff all set up. To anyone who doesn't know how this stream works or doesn't know how to, be in here, we're going to say this right now, that normally on stream I do occasional moments or do anything that involves doing stuff on stream. And yes, we're going to be doing. Yeah. I would agree. Yeah. One moment while I'm trying to set things up. Oh, I know, Jacob. I know. It's perfectly fine. Everyone has this happen to them. Okay, let's do this. Okay, that's weird. For some reason, everyone's not even on the screen at the moment. So we had... Oh, I'm sorry. What happened to... No. Yeah, whoever doesn't know who is on chat right now, if you guys are joining on, we have our good buddy Gamertech in chat. And we have a slight delay on things, and we're keeping up to this. So this is just pre-stream. We don't start until later, so Nightshade would be on later until he gets high enough to do it. We have Orion, and we have myself doing it. If Ryan wants to join on and do pre-stream with me, that is perfectly fine. And right now, I'm being sure everything is working correctly. Yep. Orion's in the chat talking in Discord. So, Norborg stream. Hey, Nitro. Hey, Orion. Hello, Nitro, and hello to everyone joining on. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna fix my
But yeah, things have changed with Nightshade IRL.
So you're gonna be with me tonight?
No, just to kind of keep the peace, because it's kind of chaos when there's a lot of people in stream.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I'll be watching over on YouTube.
Okay. So we already got Orion here. Yeah, I'm just doing pre-stream. This is just before 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, so it's gonna be a long one. We're just gonna wait, and because Nightshade's just tired tonight, right? Or just can't do it.
Yeah, he's currently traveling to Connecticut, and it's gonna be a while before he gets there.
And where is he driving from? Not to dox him, I'm just asking, like, where is he driving from?
He started in Missouri.
Oh, Connecticut.
And from what I understand, he's going upstate New York, or New York in general. But again, that's from what I understand. I don't understand how Greyhound works.
Yeah, normally in this place right now, it's just like, I guess you and me are going to be the ones tonight until someone else comes on if they really want to, show up. But I guess...
Yeah, I suppose I can stay for pre-stream.
Yeah. So we got that there. Yeah, I put everything up there. You guys see the Discord chat for Full Free Press. You guys see the normal chat that's on your far right. Everything on the top and bottom is all placed. So what I'm going to get ready for is that we're going to do what we can do at the moment, which pre-stream's kind of different than my normal take. You guys heard about the...
I mean, pre-stream can be fun in some way.
Yeah. I'm looking at the terms of service for YouTube at the moment. Spaces free with update. The service term January 5th. Taking effect. So it says right here, like, I'm right now looking at the terms of services for YouTube, and it's kind of weird what they're doing this time around. Again, open it into a new page because I don't want it to get clogged up, and I want people on stream to see that while we're doing pre-stream. Like, this is an early release of this term, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's weird at the moment. These people are changing up some things. Yeah, it's kind of quiet tonight too because I'm trying to keep that. Like, I do like it when people are doing stuff while on stream. So I'm getting this to load up. It's going to take a moment to load up on screen. Because another topic I will say right now, because we need topics on stream while we're doing this, because that's kind of what I normally do at the moment. Or I can do a full showcase of what this is. Yeah, so right now you can see what my entire backgrounds look like for stream. So what I have here is that we have this here that's coming out next year. That's kind of concerning because normally it says right here, let me look here. I'm going to read this section right here. Downloadable software. The section said we moved the sentence delaying with automatic updates developed, improved the update Google services and certified with automatic updates. Then we amended the wording to make it more straightforward and easier to read. Pretty vague on what YouTube is trying to do at the moment because we're just talking about stuff. Because we already talked about the YouTube dislike removing. So, Orion, what do you think the reason why YouTube think it's a good idea or not a good idea to remove this kind of stuff?
Well, as for the wording, yes, it's mainly legal jargon that most people can't really understand, even though they try to make it a format that many people will, which in turn makes it weird sounding. Because, I mean, if you don't know legal jargon in the slightest, yeah, good luck understanding half of what it says in the first place.
Oh,
but that's just my take on the legal jargon side of
the legal part of it that I found out, this was during the COPPA incident. I found out that any person that violates that interest would be under a $40,000 fine and possibility of court case. That's just on my part that I think is kind of ridiculous because not everyone has $40,000 to be legalized, and also people's content. You shouldn't blame your kids for going on stream or going on any format. Blame them, not me. We're content creators. We're not your kids' service. We're not your daddy daycare and babysitter. We're none of that.
Yeah, it's not like people have $40,000 to spend on a whim.
A very smart portion of people can do that on the whim.
So if they mess up, yeah, but most middle-class people, such as myself, don't really have that money to spend. So one mistake can send you into an endless circle of debt.
Yeah, a high middle-class person like me, and I would say right now that happens. And I would say that people who are rich enough to do this, it's a very small percentage of people. So we're talking like people under 100 million subs. If you are under 100 million subs, your possibility can be able to pay that off pretty quickly, because normally you get paid around almost a couple of $1 million per video if you were really rich. But sometimes you get paid by the hour. You don't get paid by the minute. It says your service provider. So it says right here that I'm looking at all the services right now, because I'm doing this right now on stream, because since I want to get ready before, because YouTube Kids, yes, you need to understand this, is that I never liked YouTube Kids. I never was a YouTube Kid person. I was just straight up to go to YouTube, because yeah, YouTube Partner Program, YouTube paid promotion membership purposes were available, but you can also read all the enjoyable content, other devices, your television, game console. Yeah, I do have a game console, which is both Xbox 360, which most of the services on there are outdated by over 7 years. And the entirety of providing the service for Google license, legal license copyrighted, which is that what I mean, and operating under laws of Delaware, located at 16. They just basically just dox their location. YouTube, such as us, we, and our, reference to our YouTube affiliates, and our terms means that there are other companies within the Alphabet Inc. Corporation or in the other future. So what they're trying to say, that the services that YouTube mostly provides is good in a lot of ways. Normally for me, I like it when YouTube is only done by adults and adults only, not kids, because I tend to get really mad when there's kids involved. Not on purpose, more like I don't want kids to be on YouTube. Kids are not supposed to be on YouTube. Kids are supposed to be in school.
Sometimes kids can be on YouTube because of teachers now being on YouTube a lot more. And I personally know good teachers on YouTube. Like, they were teachers of mine. Yeah. And that's one of the few ways I can see kids, like 10 and under, actually being on YouTube.
But no less than that. It says right here, the requirements for anyone under the age of 18, you have to be 13 or older to do it. If you're not of age, you got to have a parent or guardian with you in order to do that. And in other words, if your guardians and whoever's with you is not present, then you're not allowed to be a YouTuber. You're supposed to make content for yourself, because people who were under the age of 12 and under, I remember this being a thing. You know those family vlog channels back in the day, which are outdated now? And,
yeah.
And the one thing that I get kind of mad with is that YouTube wants to use the story thing and make videos from TikTok, which I heavily disagree with the idea of YouTube using that strategy. Using the strategy of YouTube. It'd be like if I go to my main page. I have a lot of things on here. Don't worry about it. But I'm trying to say this right now. If I go to Explore, like I have a bunch of people. This used to be not a thing. Like the trending. The Explore page used to be only 2 pages. You have Explore and Trend. But YouTube back in 2016 or 2018 switched it to just Explore. Now, trending is not really a thing I like to use, since most of the people want trends. So what is now trending? Minecraft Speedrunner VS5 versus 500's final rematch from Dream. And Dream is becoming a thing now. You already know about all the situation with Dream, right?
I know he's been accused of cheating on his speedruns.
Oh, he's been accused of many things. His speedruns are not really at all good. They're mostly dumb. They're pretty bad stuff. Pretty low kid content. I do mostly a lot of that non-kid commercial stuff. So I'm not really gonna... I'm the adult here, and I know that people want some entertainment and people want me to do that. But the thing is, it's not really my choice to entertain. That's not really what I'm supposed to do on here. Like, I know it's a podcast, and I know that at the moment we are trying to do stuff that involves Chris Chan, which Chris Chan at the moment Christian letters. Because there's a total of close to 10 new letters that... No, wait. 2 more letters out of the documents. Yep, it's been... The newest one was 17 hours ago. Just now.
Really?
One moment. I'm going to block this off real quick because people are not supposed to see that while on stream. I'm looking at my Discord stuff and a friend of mine just DM'd me and I... Hang on, let me see what they're up to. They might be trolling me again because they normally like to post their derpy pony. Oh, thick. Wow. That's cute. But at the same time, it's not really bad. It's just... Me right now, just trying to, like, figure out what we're going to be doing. Like, we're going to be doing our own thing with the Christian letters. And the most newest one is from November. Which is November 16th. So, yeah, we are going to go through it. Yeah.
Not that long ago, really.
No, just about 3 weeks. Almost close to 3 weeks. About 2.5 weeks at most. I'm not sure, but I'm checking frame drop. No. Frame drop shouldn't be a problem. So, I'm looking right now from our number of Christian letters. Like, that's a thing that we'll be doing. We'll be looking over the term of services later on. Possibility. So, I'm going to switch projector. Let's switch screens. Let's go to this one. If it's going to load, because for some particular reason, my streams... there we go. So, it finally loaded up. Okay. So, what I'm going to do right now is... Let's see here. Yeah, I don't have dark mode for this one. So if anyone's in chat trying to talk, I can only see you in the chat on my left when I see you guys talking. So on my left, which is going this way. But the gel letters get pretty redundant. It's not just your normal type of letter. It's like... If you were to put all these letters together, you'll get maybe a half a book. Because each of these letters are about 5.
Dang.
They're like big enough to be a book. So, let me look in the letters. So, there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. That's a lot of pages for one person, and that's about 7 times 200 and 250 words per page. So let me do a little math here. I normally don't do this on stream, but normally that many things is kind of much. About 1,700 words to about almost close to 2,000 words of reading, which is about 30 minutes.
Well, that's a lot of reading for one person nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of people nowadays don't read books that are that big. They want 1 or 2 chapter books. For me, I'm too big on that. It'd be like, nah, I want big books that are informative and not so quick to match. Like, here's another thing too that I can discuss. I will kind of a little bit shame him. Well, I'm going to just say them or, whatever and stuff. Because for me, for my streams, I tend to always do this thing. I get it that you're,
Yeah, that's a sensitive topic for a few people.
Yeah, like, I respect that they want to be called a she. But I'm not going to argue about that. I'm going to just say that for me, they were, they were tricked into the stuff. They believe this. They're delusional. Like, I get it. I've seen people that are real trans people, and even though it's a topic that I don't want to talk about it too much, but I'm going to say they're pre-trans time. So if I say pre, I don't mean them present. So keep in mind on stream that it's both the present and the past and the present and the future. So I'm doing both at the same time. And to me, they basically have such a ludicrous idea of this because they got arrested on July the 23rd. I know, wait, somewhere around the end of July, like on the very tip end where Harry Potter was born. So to me, this seems like a delusion that is so bad. It makes it laughable. It makes me kind of laugh at them for their crazy antics, because the timeline is pretty much just broken. Like, it's broken because there's so many other people that are gone bad with him. Oh, Chris Times Square? What the heck is this? Like, whenever I search up anything with Christian, it gets kind of weird. Because when 4chan it is still a thing. But there's a time and place where everything is, and there's a time and place for what these people are. And to me, it just seems like, well, these people are crazy and they don't know where to shut the hell up, because people like Chris Chan don't know how to shut up. Like, he's like the epitome of a low-functioning autistic kid, even though I don't want to disrespect people who do have it. I've seen people much worse than this. And I've seen that Tim Box is another one. He's just another ripoff of Chris Chan. He's kind of like him, but he's a bit more nutty. He's like that nutty brand of nutty butter, but it's rotten.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, because I was in stream. I was part of some of the podcasts where we went over some of the letters.
Yeah, we're
even the one where even the one where we discussed that Chris Chan believes that they were the incarnation of God or something.
Basically, they're trying to say they're completely reincarnation of Jesus, which is dumb, because it's not really true, because you're basically you're the fool in this. It'd be like saying, well, you're the fool in this, Chris. You put yourself in this own demise.
Mm-hmm.
And the type of timeline we're at now is called the post-merge era to the present. And the last one we did was the Fall. The other one was Transcendal Awakening, which is to now. So pretty much the timeline has become dark. This is like the dark ages of Chris Chan. It's like so bad. Like, we're on the fall of Chris Chan. So this is legitimately the idea of what is now. It's all this right here. After Chris Chan's blank was leaked online, the event soon became the 4th trending hashtag on Twitter. So he became number 4 on Twitter. That's nuts, because they have never been that popular on Twitter. They have a following, but they're not. He and she at the same time are not this. It's just crazy. Like, to me, respecting pronouns here, they're just very not in the head. They're not there in the head. They're not functionally present. They're not, this and that. It just makes me think that they're just the epitome of what a lot of autistic people get a bad rap with. And I don't like that. Autistic people should be respected upon because they are smart, intelligent creatures. Just like I call them creatures because they're a type of people that's different. They're more likely the only type of people that they think, oh, these people are mute and stuff and all this kind of stuff. I think right now the only thing we're needing for our podcast is just people who want to get ideas. We're just gonna wait for people who want to join in, but we can go off on more pre-stream. It's just until 10 p.m. or something like that we can stop. But at the moment, I would say right now, Christian Westland Chandler is completely very egotism and very hypocrisy and stuff. And he doesn't she doesn't really get it at all, and it makes me kind of sad that he's this way, and he's become something that's became a complete moron, a complete depiction of bad parenting.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm talking pre, so I'm keeping in mind. So his stuff is not there. He's not there in the head. So the letter,
Yeah.
there's like one. So there's only the very first letter, which is 1 page long. The second one, just about almost a whole month after, he just loses it. He just loses it. Like, we're going over what they have done. 4 pages. 4 pages. That is crazy.
Damn.
That's 5 pages. Let's go to October 3rd, and we're gonna add up how many pages he has already written. He possibly has written over 30 pages.
That's enough for a small chapter book.
Yeah, it's enough. If you were to talk about a small chapter, you would talk about Goosebumps. Jesus macro, this person can write long letters. I don't even write that many letters in the first place. These are letters, not, books. But their stuff can be easily turned into a short book with the 30 pages. So there's like 7, 8. So that's like 5, 6.
Yeah, and if Christian manages to hold on to sanity for long enough, maybe there will be a book written by him.
Well, his books, he's already at 12 pages on the other one on October the 4th. So that's a total of 12 pages. Let's see here. Oh boy. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pages on both of these. 20 pages.
Damn.
'21, 22, 23. And how many pages? 25. 28. 29, 30, 31, 32. So he's at 32 pages on the halfway point.
Yep, I smell a book.
Yep, or a journal.
Probably both.
How many pages are we at now? Like 38 something?
Think so.
Yeah, let's continue it because we're going through this fast pace on like 20, already at 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Alright, 31 pages so far. Or 40, like, I don't know, I'm losing track on how many this person is just already at the point of too many. There was one person on Twitter that made a 500-page document of calling someone out. 42.
How do you write like you needed to survive?
So we're already at 40 pages. So it's like 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So the total gel letters, ladies and gentlemen, is at 49 letters. I'm going to be...
And I quote from...
Yeah.
I quote from a rather famous musical. How do you write like you're running out of time? How do you write like you need it to survive?
Yeah, this is just not right. It's Chris Chan's letters. Like, this is not normal for someone to write 49 of these. Writing 49
No, it's
pages,
not.
It's not right. Even for a person from my own age. We don't write 49 pages on a ranting because I don't even know if these are just journals. I don't know if these are just segments of their segments. But it's kind of stupid to even think about, like all of the stuff that's under the people that are from Kiwi Farms and 4chan. It's just, the hell is wrong with him? Like, well, her at the same time. I'm just saying both because
Yep.
This person is not really a tranny. They even though I respect that, but I think from my own take on it, it's not really a tranny because they still have facial expressions that are still the same. And I'm not being rude on that. I'm not being transphobic. I'm just saying that they are not truly a woman. They can believe what they want to, but they can only believe as they are. I'm not taking that out of my own sake of my own belief. I'm just saying that they're not really the type of person to really be around, even though they might be nice. But I'm going to tell you right now, these kind of individuals that have atypical autism or possibility a little more than usual, yeah, I would say right now, don't try to interact with these people because these people are nuts. I don't want to say isolate them. I just say we said this in the previous stream, I think. I don't know if I want to quote this, but someone on YouTube said that Christian and people with these kind of very severe autistic spectrum disorder, they should not be on the internet in the first place with anyone. They shouldn't be aligned with other individuals that are normies or non-typical. I don't consider myself a non-typical. I don't even consider myself at all that. I consider myself, I'm functioning, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I can say that Christian's just the depiction of making a lot of dumb claims. A lot of claims have been going around since his very early days of childhood and high school years. And if I were to say this right now, he's the most documented person in all of the internet. Second to some other people. If you guys remember the Commodore...
I don't mean...
Yeah?
I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone with autism or anything, or even Christian. I'm just stating what I am seeing as fact, even though it just may as well be my own opinion. But Christian seems to be one of the dumbest people I've ever heard of. Like, not even... Like, so stupid I can't even put into words.
Well, his art is what really makes everyone laugh at him because he's not an artist. He is a kid. He is... The depiction of reality became bad influence on his take on life. They basically have such a bad reputation for having bad art. If I were to tell you right now to an art teacher, because I really will say I'm kind of a freelance when it comes to art like this, but I would say right now his art, I'm talking his past self, is the worst thing ever to be made by a grown man that should already know how to draw perfectly. They were not given these roles at all on any occasion. They were never ever famous. They're famous on the internet because they expose themselves to stupidity. And it took them 3 years.
It's the actions and behavior that get me, not the drawings, because not everyone can draw perfectly. I mean, stick figures for me.
Well, I know how to draw pretty good. It's just that I don't do it on a consistent basis. And to me, Chris Chan is just as crazy with his art. Like, he's not the crazy type that should be, given praise. He should be given a warning, I would say, to stop stealing from people. He basically doesn't know that he's stolen property. He doesn't understand the depictions are copywriting and also legalizing his work, which is not really his. It does not belong to him. And I'm talking about his past self. So, I'm going to say right now... Yeah?
Yeah, now I see where the artwork can be stupid.
Yeah, because he kills off people so quickly in his little things. He does his little thing in a lot of stuff he does, is that he kills off people so quickly in his comics. There's a lot of loose ends that are inconsistent. There's not much of anything that I would say that is good about his comics. I would say that his comics are pretty bad on work, effort, and coloring. His coloring is just so bad on a lot of ways. It's not, coherent. It's mostly the most incoherent stuff, like A Prince of Milan Dark Cure by 99. His stuff is so inconsistent. I'm just giving an example. I'm not going off with that person. I'm saying that his stuff with animation is so bad, it's only centered around him. There's a very small percentage of people that will center around themselves with, them only. That's pretty bad on a lot of occasions. Like, if you were to say that his art was at all good, I would say his only best work was possibly his newest ones. But I would say right now, don't ever read any of his work after issue 10 or so, because it gets really demented. It gets to a point where it gets really bad. Like, we're talking like bad to a point where it's just not good to watch. Like, I can go for the documentary and I can tell you right off the bat that there's a bunch of bad things that happen in his pre-years. And his first depiction of Sonichu was back in 1997 or 1998. I think I remember correctly in the documentary that they made Sonichu while they were in high school. So their high school years, so they were between 1994 to 1999. So their first Sonichu was in 1996, but it was only onto an album until the early 2000s when Sonichu became something very different, because back then, yeah, we're having fun, not Orion, but Lunar. Yeah, I know you're at work. I don't need to go up, but I'm going to say right now, his art, because at the time, the only way you would have made art in early 2000 would have been on a laser printer. Those calculators that were pretty old that you couldn't use that much, and scanning documents were pretty bad on a PC because his PC is possibly pretty old. What do you think this little numbskull would have used? His father's computer or his mother's?
That's good question. Who knows?
Well, we don't know. That's the question I keep asking. What kind of computer does this individual even use? I know recently from 2017 they used a laptop, but it's outdated because they're using a lot of old programs that are outdated by a long time. Like, I can go to Chris Chan and see what software do they use. And I'm going to look online right now, see what he uses.
I mean, could it be something basic, which seems to be my headcanon right now? Could be something super modern.
Yeah, it can be something modern, but the money he gets is just not enough to pay for any Patreon stuff. They do have a Patreon and an Etsy store at one point.
I mean,
eBay.
sure.
They had a streamline of income for a short period, but it really didn't do well. I would say it didn't do too well for him, but I will say right now, that's on him. That's on their on point back then. So, to me, I think most of the time these people that try to troll Chris into something, it's not really the type of stuff that involves, I would assume there's a bunch of discussing things that are possibly on Christian's laptop, but I can't really assume it completely. But I can say that he possibly has something that's pretty disgusting. So I'm trying to look online and see if there's any mentions of his computer, because at one point the only way you would have uploaded in 2005 and 2007 would have been an old handy cam, like those JVC and early 2000s camera. I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, I wasn't born around that time, so I don't remember that.
I always say Christian because it's kind of funny to misspell his name and get this individual mad. The one thing that really make him mad is to say that his stuff is BS. It's kind of funny to me, but I wouldn't say it's completely that funny, because to me he is pretty stupid. In a lot of ways, Christian is just very, very not so there. He's not really there in the head. He's not really there in the know-how. It's more like they don't really understand how everything works. And I'm not going to mention anyone, but I'm going to say I have a classmate who has problems with trying to get his word out. And even though his artwork is pretty terrible, he draws the same fantasy characters over and over again. There's a thing in art that I will say right now, I'm not trying to get on to him about it, but I talked with him, do you want to draw something different than dragons maybe? And I just mentioned that because he likes to draw a lot of dragons. And the reason why I'm saying that real quick is because to me, it kind of relates to Christian, kind of, because he draws the same thing so bad. He doesn't have the skill needed to be an artist. He has a pretty bad habit at not being true to himself. He doesn't understand that he needs to do as what others want. If you have an expectation online to draw something, you will have expectations. Like right now, Lunar and Nightshade, I still have expectations to draw their OCs because it's a commission I was paid for. But it's the same thing with what people do with Christian. They want stuff from them, and they want stuff that is something they can get benefits out of, which Christian might be somewhat successful and somewhat okay on successful, but to me they're not really successful because they're so terrible at their job. Very terrible at managing business, very terrible at finances. This person has such a terrible background in money. I would say right now, if they were to ever try to say that they were good at money, they will lose that money in a matter of seconds. It wouldn't be a ha-ha, it'd be more like, oh no, I'm going to go into debt. So, another thing too that I've been working around with streaming and stuff, since we don't really have much of anyone that's going to give us ideas, which just you and me are going to have to get what we can discuss. So this is going to be kind of a slow episode, but this is kind of the midpoint of what we can do with streaming. Like, we can do a different format, I would tell you right now, but the format that we're trying to keep up with is the streaming, because podcasts, to me, you can pre-record them and you can stream. That's perfectly fine. But other formats are completely different. It'd be like, look at me right now. I have a format that's kind of very simplistic. You can see some stuff on my screen, but you can't see everything. It's like you go to my Discord stuff. Like, if I were to do this real quick, which I can't because this thing right here is not wanting to close. So, because I was typing a text and it didn't want to close, so that makes it harder for me to like stream with. So what I normally do when it comes to doing all this kind of stuff on stream, if I have problems on my end, I have to fix it on my own self. So I can just close that off. Oh, another person just joined in. Hello to anyone. We're just talking about stuff in pre-stream until around... It's already 9 o'clock right now, and we're just doing stuff until it's around 10 o'clock. So we're just doing a uncut opening of this stream. Because this is just like when people want to get on and get stuff going. For me right now, it's just for fun. And we're not doing this on a serious thing. We're just doing it for fun. If people want to discuss stuff in chat, please keep it to them. You can talk about anything you want as long as the bot in chat does not get you. Because I forgot to mention this to anyone on stream. If you do talk and you do constantly spam messages, it will automatically lock you out of the stream because you spammed more than 5 messages. Because that is perfectly fine if you spam, but just don't spam more than once. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff that I want to talk about too. So, we already talked about how we thought about G5. And I'm going to be honest right now, I do have the movie on demand on my computer from Google Drive. So, to me, when I first watched it, I thought it was going to be one of those another My Little Pony movies that are just one time only. But I was wrong. It was one of the best movies I think My Little Pony's ever seen since day one. Because the first movie to ever release for My Little Pony was in 2013 called Equestria Girls, which was one of the worst movies I have ever watched. Because it was a limited time opening theater. Rainbow Rocks was second after that. Bad too, but one of the best movies with songs in it. And one of the cutest dazzlings of Sonata Dusk. Funny enough, I love Sonata Dusk Pony from that movie. And I have top favorite ponies that a lot of people don't know about. Like, a lot of people want to top Twilight as Elise, and people want to top other ponies as Lise. So, my most top least favorite character out of the entire My Little Pony series is always going to be Cozy Glow. And that's the only reason I would say Cozy Glow, because she's not really she's just a really bad reputation of a brat. And she might be a kid, and I'm going to give some slack. They did some good old-fashioned evil, but it wasn't really good evil. More like simplistic bad guy versus good guy situation. And to me,
yeah,
I just think it's just bad in general. But the only bad part, so this is what I thought. So moving from the 4th gen conversation. So my least favorite character out of the entire My Little Pony movie is always going to be the Earth Pony. That Sprout's mother and Sprout himself are my least favorite characters. They're mama boys. One's a mama and one's the boy, and I call them mama boys. I call it because it's so generic. Like, I get the writers were trying to come up with something in those 2 years of development, but come on, could have done better. But the thing is, the screenwriters, I don't blame. I don't blame anyone that was trying to do their best at trying to keep consistency. But there's a bunch of stuff that tells me there's always going to be something bad happening to these characters. So right now I just saw that my thing finally switched over. So I think for me a lot when it comes to like ponies in general or just anything in general, it's just I love everyone that comes on to my streams. I really enjoy people that come on, but there's a time and place where some people might disagree with me. Like, my top favorite pony is always going to be Spitfire in Twilight and Fluttershy and Rarity. Like, I know people might not like Rarity because she was a whiny little bitch in the very early days. That's just the simplistic. I would say she's a whiny drama bitch that doesn't know to shut up. But in some cases, it's kind of cute because it spices up the relationship of some sort. Now, I will say right now, from my point of view, shipping characters is fine as long as they're not shipping characters that are not supposed to be shipped. It's your opinion. Like, I can ship my character with Luna. I can ship mine with Celestia. I can ship mine with every other pony. But I don't ship any of the... Here's the one thing that I would never do. When someone says they want to ship their character with a little kid in the show, I tell them no. Don't even try that, because you can get in trouble. I've seen someone try to ship me with their character that's underage.
Yeah.
And it makes me very mad. Because it's like a kind of a troll thing that some people love to do. But it's not a good idea to do that because some people are kind of conscious about being considered called pedophiles and enabling. But our Luna Archer got in trouble for that too a long time ago. I still have some videos of that on a stream that someone did. I'm not going to mention what. I'm just saying that Luna Archer, people were joking about on Twitter and people got really mad. This is during the time that Toon Credit's sexual allegations were coming out. But not into that. I'm just saying that when you ship, just be very cautious and very aware of what people want. Because I've been shipped with plenty of people beforehand. Honestly, I don't like getting shipped with many people in the first place because I feel like I'm being unconsciously being used for something. Like, I can ship my character with Twilight, I can ship my character with Fluttershy, and I don't really ship my character Rainbow Dash that much because she is an airhead, even though she's blue. And funny enough, she was one of the first characters I really truly loved during seasons 2 and 3 because of her ways of doing stuff. And everything else after I did shipping. Shipping is okay until it starts to get annoying. Like, there's a point in time where you can get very annoyed with the people that you're talking with. Or get very annoyed with characters that don't have a chemistry. Like, I would try to ship my character with Celestia, but at the same time, she'll be kind of a hard character to really at all have a relationship with since she has issues of her own self, and she had plenty of boyfriends and girlfriends herself, just like Luna. I'm not roasting anyone, I'm just saying that some people really truly love Luna because of her dynamics of being the Night Queen and Nightmare Moon. Because she was one of the first ever characters to be a villain and a good guy. Like...
Yeah, I get that.
So, what is your... If you were to say your favorite characters on the show versus your least favorite, because I can try to name plenty of them that I don't like, but there's a bunch of them that I do like that I can easily say that are not likable. So what is your take on that?
You said if I had the chance to say something to my favorite characters versus my least favorites, what would I say?
Mm-hmm.
To my favorite characters, I would just give them a hug and say, never stop being you, but don't stop changing. I know change is inevitable, but don't change who you are as a whole. And to those I hate, I'd just say fuck off.
Yeah, even though Discord was at one point a villain, it doesn't mean that he's truly completely just the same villain over and over again, right? The thing is, I don't see that people should...
Yeah, I actually like Discord as a villain.
Like, he's a character that you can love, but hate at the same time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Song by the one of representative conservative resentant
That would
conservative.
be my dad.
Oh, that's fine. If dad wants to join on, that's good. Just has more of a spice to it. Like, you can have people that are...
I would love to see his take on pony stuff.
Oh, it would be interesting. I want to hear his take on favorites versus dislikes. And my computer's trying to freeze up me. Oh boy.
Ouch.
Hang on a second. So, what's wrong with your father at the moment?
I never said anything was wrong.
Yeah, interesting concept about doing that. I don't do veteran, like, for me, I don't know too much about that kind of stuff unless I am told, like, history first before I can comment. That's what I tell people all the time. Oh, who Lightning Dash? Hello. Yeah. If anyone's short on stream, we're just talking about favorites and dislike ponies on My Little Pony Take. So, at the moment, let's see what time it is. It's Thursday night and Friday night and Saturday night for anyone on other places. So if you're in a different country and you're watching this in the middle of the night, thank you. But anyone that's not watching from middle of the night, that's fine by me. It's already daytime. Like, it's 17 hours ahead of time, and it should be like 4 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon with... Let's see, Darwin. Already 1 in the afternoon. It's already lunchtime. For Darwin. So, right now, speaking about time and speaking about people who want to join on, if you guys have favorite ponies that you do like in shipping with yourself, even though I don't like self-inserted characters, the number one thing we talked about about a week ago is about self-inserted characters. So, my take on self-inserted characters is pretty not good. So if I were to look up in self-inserted, so I know this is a pretty typical idea of, well, you already said this beforehand. It's mostly like a second person story, but it's not like that. It's just mostly, if I were to categorize it right now, let's look on the screen here. Let's see here. I'm going to open that again. So giving me a moment to open that, and then we're going to look at self-inserted. So self-inserted is a literacy diverse to have fictional characters represent the author of their work, or fiction either overlay or is it disguise. So basically, if you self-insert yourself with My Little Pony characters, it's basically automatically hated in this community. You can easily try to be good at doing it, but you can easily do a bad job. since authors normally want to self-insert themselves, and it's always about them. But in reality, you shouldn't self-insert yourself for every time you're doing a story. So, my take on fanfiction's idea with writing self-inserted characters should be taken pretty seriously, because it should be never taken so lightly in shipping. Because self-inserted is pretty bad in some cases. Unless you execute it perfectly, then I would love you to death. But if you do it pretty badly, I'm not going to respect you for it. Because it makes me feel like you're trying too hard to be self-centered. Yeah. So, another thing too to take...
To this day, I have not as of yet seen a good My Little Pony self-insert, but I have read some good self-insert.
Yeah, like for me, I'm going to tell you right now, anyone on stream, I don't do safe for work stories that I'd like to read. There is a very rare chance you'll ever see me read a safe for work story. Unless someone wants me to read it for them as a safe for work or not safe for work. So I am almost close to 100% in most of these not safe for work stories that I read. I don't read anything that is teen related. I don't read any PG-13 or PG fix. I'll read a bunch of stuff that is rated M and mature, because I feel like that's my category of interest. But I feel like I feel better because I know it's called erotica in some cases. The fictional stuff is just straight up porn. It's straight up erotica. It's straight up nonsense of sex. But there is some good stories that are pretty like that, but they're not totally okay, because I don't want to mention any story. The only story that I can tell you right now that is pretty not safe for work, it is called the Clockwork Society fanfiction. Straight up not safe for work and not really for anyone. It's NC-17 rating because it's so bad. It's basically a cult fanfiction. We're talking like a cult of ponies that basically do bad things. So basically, me right now, I don't like it when people self-insert themselves. I don't like it when anybody self-inserts themselves into a story. But like, if I go on fanfiction right now, I mostly say the only thing that is a little bit something I can read but laugh at, because I feel like I want to have comedy in my life instead of some depressive porn that is pretty sad in some cases, since I know it's horny juice season. Because it's not no nut November, because I don't believe in that shit. There's no such thing as no nut November. So the meme that is for everyone, there's no such thing as no nut November. So you can still nut while you're doing stuff. There's no such thing out of the 365 days in a year, or 364 depending on whatever year. There's a rare chance that anyone ever cares about doing the No Nut November, because no one's going to do that, because it's nothing but toxicity from masculinity. But, moving on from that, to expand upon the self-inserted stuff, let's look at my favorite author, Stephen King, or Stephen Edward King is his full name. A 74-year-old writer, thriller writer, horror author, and also plenty of other stuff besides the true crime that he's been doing. He's the only one that ever inserted himself in one of his stories, The Dark Tower. Funny enough, that was the worst movie to ever be made, because it was inconsistent to what the plot was from the books. The whole book itself is like a giant poem, but expanded upon from the Gun Rose book, I think. There's no self-inserted stuff in the poem itself, but Stephen King expanded upon that poem back in 1981 and 1982. It was the serial authors all the way up to book 6, then all the way to book 7, and it gets restarted. So I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm just saying straight up, the story is pretty much the same. There's a total of 8 books, including one book that's in between 4 and 6, I think, or 4 or 5. Don't know which, but I know it's an in between. So there's another thing too about self-inserted stuff is that I get pretty annoyed if people constantly say that their characters are the best thing in the world and they're the most OP characters. Now, I have a grudge against OP characters. I do not like those characters that are OP. Unless it's a full on not safe for work fetish story, then it will be okay because it is just it's supposed to be a nonsense story that's just erotica. What do you expect? Basically, I just think in the My Little Pony fandom there's a lot more erotica than there ever was, because not safe for work stories are pretty much the most common thing there is on fanfiction. So FYI for anyone on stream, if you ever go to fanfiction, turn off the mature section because you're going to be bombarded by 100,000 fics at once with that tag. If you're of age, then do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been on fanfiction and fanfiction. Yeah, there's a whole lot of NSFW fanfics.
because they're trying to keep that from being expanded upon. Like the thing is, we're all adults. You mean both, Orion. We shouldn't just shame ourselves for liking it. Like, we have people who get mad when we shame people for liking that stuff. All you doing is making it harder for people to try to come in this fandom and express themselves. Like, you're free to express yourselves about how you like about characters, right? But there's a point in time when you have to restrain yourself from doing it. Because the number one thing about writing is being not afraid to write anything you want. Not be afraid to write about what you like and what you do. So my take on it is that if you want to write eroticas and you want to expand upon that, you want to write sex stuff, that's on your own accord. But if you're not comfortable with it because you have been, not gonna really exploit it and say that other people have been through that, but I understand that you don't want to write something like that because you feel uncomfortable. Very understandable. And I'm fine with people don't want to be involved with that kind of stuff because they feel uncomfortable. So true to some people, and even though majority of people, like, you gotta have standards. Like, the one thing that a lot of people get kind of mad about is that some of the bronies in this fandom don't have standards in some cases. Now, there are some bronies that tend to have strict, boundaries that are pretty not okay in some cases. Like, they have a lot of preferences that are pretty strict. Like, we're talking like super strict type of stuff that goes under standards and expectations. Because bronies nowadays don't really,
Yeah.
Some bronies do have some pretty strict standards. Some of them don't. I'm just saying. Like, you can have people that have some severe cases of strict territory boundaries that are pretty good.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now hear you, Nightshade.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's up? How are we gonna? So let's get. I got my laptop working. Jake, I'm on the internet.
So I think.
Hey.
I think it's already time. We're already out of that pre-show where we're doing just a little bit longer introduction of what we're gonna do. But I think tonight we can do some discussions of whatever topics we want to do tonight. But we're gonna expand upon the Chris Chan letters because I've already counted. We have 49 letters that have been counted for.
I say let's just completely not do Chris Chan today.
Okay.
Let's make this one audience choice.
Yeah.
So it's we'll do this one whatever
Yes, I love that.
Wants to talk, whatever they want to talk about, whatever questions they have. All right, we'll discuss that instead.
Okay.
It kind of gives them the feel like that they're involved in this more.
Yeah.
So we give them interaction with us, with the questions they ask. Maybe it'll attract more people.
Yeah. Like, I'm right now just
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah. I was just trying to pass the time until someone gets on.
Yeah, I didn't even know you guys were doing it. I was in the middle of a Yu-Gi-Oh match on DB. We went for about 35 minutes in game one. It was Drytron versus Eldritch, so we went absolutely nowhere.
That happens in games where there was a thing I taught to my teachers today that there was a person that had an Uno challenge at their house per 3 players and it went over for 2 hours nonstop.
Damn. It's
Imagine
like,
imagine an Uno like
That's
imagine
how you get your deal.
look, I'm not used to sitting here playing 35-minute single games when it's supposed to be a best of 3 match. Like, no, like usually Drytron ends it in like 5 minutes.
yeah, like to me
But I mean, well, he basically just skirted around my board because it was okay. Activate Pot of Extravagance, banish 6, use Ultimatus negate. Right? Okay. Well, here's how he skirted around my Omni negates. He just set 4 cards face down faster. I was like,
yeah.
well, that fucking sucks. And
Yeah,
now I know he's on Monkey Decks, which is traps. I was like, okay, so which variant is he playing? Is he playing Lich? Is he playing Poltergeist? Is he playing Subterror Guru? Is he playing Plunder Patrol? What is he doing? Turned out to be the worst of them all. Eldritch.
oh boy, that sounds like a massive stroke for some people. Like for me, you know those CG cards from Malapony. If you were to play those, that would take you 4 hours per round. I looked
What, the
online.
CCG?
Yeah, yeah, those take hours to learn. Like if you were to like, I have the entire collection of.
I learned how to play the game in 5 minutes.
Yeah, like for me, I take my time on learning it and not have to speed it up. But
Oh, I play, like, what I play, my deck, it's Critter Control.
yeah,
So I play Friends to Animals with RTO and Fleur de Lis.
yeah, I had a few other cards that were not related. Like most of my cards are by number or by what character. So I do have a collection of cards that tell me that I have villains. I have an entire deck called a villain deck, neutral characters, storyboard, and good guys. So I tend to keep all of my stuff separated. So I was going to ask you, Najee, what happened to your account? What happened to that?
What account?
Like, I thought for a moment that you were on a different account. It seems like you made a new one for some reason.
Because I broke my other phone.
Oh yeah, he couldn't access his Gmail.
And because I couldn't access my Gmail, I put in it on the other account. So that's making me have to make a new account.
Yeah.
So basically, I just transferred ownership of my server over to Jake real quick, or Button Mash, and went and made a new account. And that way I didn't get immediately banned from servers
Yeah.
that nobody likes me in because I'm a troll. Instead of being Princess Luna again, I changed it to Coco Palmel.
Yeah.
And I'm still in every server that hates me, I'm still in there. Except for
Yeah.
Cider. For some odd ass reason, Charlie found out that it was me. I don't fucking know how. But he figured the fuck out. And that was aggravating.
So why does everyone even, like, I don't want to ask it, but normally on stream we would do that with Gamertag, but it's different. Gamertag's already at lunch right now.
Gamertag, for his time, because he's in Australia, it's about noon for him.
Yeah, it's already high noon.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to get to, I won't be getting to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania until midnight tonight.
But that's fine. Like, we're here for most of the time, so I will say right now that all we need to do right now is just see if anyone in the audience is going to even come on. We have only one person viewing, and I'm trying to figure out which people are going to come on. Like, I can advertise the stream if people want to ask questions. That'd be a... Would
That's
that... What
what
are,
to do.
yeah. We were talking
You should
about... Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was trying to ask. We just asked this question earlier about self-inserted characters. Now, what is your take? Because we're trying to a little bit explain this. Do you think self-inserted characters on fanfiction and fan fiction, two different sites, is pretty bad in some cases?
No, I don't. I think it brings color into the fandom. Without other people's OCs, I mean, we wouldn't really have much creativity to begin with. I mean, a lot of the arts that we have in the fandom come from people's OCs. There's more OC artwork than there is
Fandom.
actual character artwork.
Yeah, I looked on the Derpy Town, like Derpy Brood tags and stuff. There's about almost a 500,000 OCs at most.
Exactly.
Well,
So if it wasn't for the OCs, I don't think the fandom would be this dang big.
the reason why I think I like it that you're optimistic about that, but for me, even though I'm okay with self-inserted myself in characters, I tend to stay away from it because I feel kind of not really. It's just like I feel like I'm fine with it. It's just that I don't want people to ship me with anyone besides my favorites and stuff, which I don't want to constantly change.
Okay, well, when it comes to shipping, nobody should ship anybody's OC with another OC without those two people's OC's consent, because that could be, viewed as sexual harassment.
Yeah, it can be considered.
I don't think they should ship OCs without consent of the creators of the OC.
Correct. Normally, OC should only be like me. I have a female OC that's trans, so it should be noted that it would be pretty rude for someone to ship me without their consent.
Or say with me, because I'm shipped with Lunar's OC, which is Lunar. And it would be rude for someone to try to ship my OC with, say, your OC.
Yeah, it would be kind of an awkward moment because it'd be like a confrontation where I don't know who to talk to. Be like, I don't.
It'd be one of those where my OC turns around and says, "Ha, bitch, no."
Like for me, I like it when I can try to be my OC in a persona. Like we all know that we all have personas or sonas that are our perspective, our own little division of our personality. Like for me, I have my OC Sweetheart at one point. I changed my character for a long time. I just switched because my other OC was good because it was kind of a recolor of Twilight, but a bit better because she had a lot longer hair, she had longer bangs, very big head in a sense. And for me, I had her for a long time, for about almost 2.5 years at one point. And then 2020, I decided to remake my entire OC in 2020 and made it Sweet Honey, which is a complete redesign of my first OC.
Pretty good.
It's yellow. It has gray. It doesn't have gray. It's silver. So there's gray, black, silver, blue. The eyes and butt mark are both blue.
All right.
Which blue is a common color for OCs. So I designed my OC. I think what I designed my OC after was another OC, which was another.
Well,
yeah.
Well, with my OC, the OC I have now came off the top of my head in like literally under 10 minutes, and was produced within another 5.
Yeah, I just take a long time making OCs. It takes me about almost 6 years to make one OC.
Well, I mean, if I can take an OC and make one like I did because you know how the colors they work together, they blend, but they pop at the same time. The black on the black coat on the white and the sky blue mane and tail with the white cutie mark, it pops out, but it also blends and it looks good.
Yeah, and there's certain backgrounds that you can't always put on. Like if you have, let's say that your character is the black OC, like the one you have black, blue, and white. And I would say if you put any dark colors, it would not work. It would be your hair and eyes only showing.
Exactly.
Like, the reason why I wanted yellow was because it makes it easier to see everything on screen. Because yellow is a really good color to use since it's also the sun colors.
Yeah, nobody likes the Solar Empire.
Yeah.
Fuck Princess Celestia. Fuck
yes.
Celestia.
But here's
no sun but lovers here.
Yeah, like, there's not many people because a few people I know on another server on Scarlet Blade's channel, a person by the name, I don't know what their skits or something like that, or someone else, they love Celestia a lot. Like, obsessively.
okay, this person needs to die.
Well, let's say that some people can get. Another thing I need to ask you too. Do you think sometimes overly obsessed of one OC is kind of a little bit too much for some people?
Yeah. Well, you know what? That depends on the circumstances. Now, are we talking as they're just crushing on this OC, or are they married to this OC?
We're talking like legitly just Chris Chan level type stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's just way too over the damn top. Then, like, what the fuck kind of question was that?
Yeah, because like for me, I'm just saying that because there's some bronies out there that are way too obsessed of one character.
Look, I'm not even obsessed with my OC. Who cares? It's just a fucking. Oh, it's an OC. Who cares?
Like here's a funny thing too. Some people get so attached to some things to the point where it's just okay. Why are you doing it? You shouldn't be doing that right now. You should be not obsessing over something so small. Like I obsessed with over multiple characters. My first
I only obsessed with Luna.
yeah, like someone that's obsessed with Luna.
No.
I'm okay with that. I love it that someone loves Luna because it's the Night Queen.
Damn right.
And people who obsess with Celestia, you keep forgetting that she basically got everyone else in trouble on her own stupidity. That's what.
Yeah, because she's a cunt, dude. Like, no, nobody likes Celestia
She's more of a
except
slut.
for she. No shit, she's a slut.
She's a cunt and a cock.
Well, I don't know about a cock, but a cunt, yes.
Yes, because I know people get mad. Like, there's some people out there that are obsessed with Twilight too. She was one of the open characters too.
I was not obsessed with Twilight. She's an egghead.
Well, here's the thing about that. I'm fine that you disagree on that. I'm fine with you disagreeing with that, and it's your opinion and stuff, and your own personal preference.
Well, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying I don't like Twilight because I do like Twilight. I'm not gonna obsess about Twilight. Why would I obsess about Twilight? Who?
Mhm.
She's a no pony.
Yeah, like
Oh, I shouldn't say that 'cause that's not true.
like here's another thing that I will say that also kind of questions like if what is everyone like I already said this earlier. My most hateable character I don't like. I said Cozy Low because she was a pretty generic villain. For
Hey,
yeah.
hold on now. I like Cozy Glow. Cozy Glow's got some character. Even though as fucked up as her little mind is, as badass as she turns out to be, but still, I like Cozy Glow.
For me,
Even after what happened with the sisters, I still like Cozy Glow. And it's
yeah,
because she's, I like her because she just doesn't, she's got that I don't give a fuck attitude.
yeah, she's like that type of psychopath that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
She's more psychopath than sociopath because there's a lot of tendencies in psychopath tendencies of manipulation, and the other characters I think that are not psychopath. The other ones, the other four in the the end of the show were mostly not psycho. They're all sociopaths.
Yeah. I mean, you want a sociopathic pony, that'd be Zakora.
Oh, Zakora. She is a very interesting character.
I can't stand her. I really don't. Like, at first she was alright, but after, like, the first, like, 5 minutes of her rhyming nonstop, I got tired of it real fast.
Oh, I was really intrigued by her ways. She was, I wouldn't say
She's a wannabe Yoda.
kind of, but what defines do you think that she is a sociopath then?
The fact that she can't speak a normal sentence, I think Yoda's a sociopath. He has to speak in riddles.
Now, what
Same
other
with-
characters?
Well, I think Zakora rhymes because it was easier for her to learn her potions that way, but it's just a headcanon.
Well,
Yeah, that's
what
a
I found
headcanon.
out, I looked in the canon comments that Malapony IDW officially released most of the time, and I looked through the entire season's 10 anthology, which is pretty inconsistent, but at the same time pretty good at backstory. There's a lot of in between stories, in between episodes that are not from seasons 9, because the very end of the show hits on a very odd mark where by episode comic issue 102 or 103.
Hold on, I want to ask you something. Are we live on podcast right now?
Yeah, I've been live for the past half an hour.
Holy shit! Sorry, guys, I'm late. For the information, for the record, guys, and those who are watching and those who will possibly watch this later on, I showed up late because I'm on the Greyhound bus right now, heading from Springfield, Missouri, up to Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah,
to move with my fiance.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that's the big reason why I'm late.
Hey, that's fine. I'm not.
Gonna get high as fuck later on in Pittsburgh.
Well, I think the reason without Gamertech, it's kind of different for me to do this since I don't do weekly streams. I do it once a month or once a week because I got to think of other ideas. But the other thing too, with going on with characters in the My Little Pony show, like I said earlier about AEW, gonna keep that in mind. What I found out about Zecora, she came from a land that wasn't on the map.
It was from Madagascar.
Kind of Madagascar, but it's Zebra Islands of some sort.
Did she come from Zephyr Heights? Or Zebra Heights?
Maybe, but from my understanding from the entire G5 movie, I have looked through the entire map, and it looks like most everything's on the east coast of Equestria, so it's nothing on the west coast.
Well, I mean, what about is it Blacktooth Island?
That's somewhere a little bit farther.
Yeah, but there could be a possibility that's maybe where Zecora came from.
Maybe
because it was never really discovered what's on Blacktooth Island.
Yeah, I look at the map like I'm gonna look right now because normally I love looking at maps and see what the world of My Little Pony is because Equestria is such a big continent that it can make into 5 states.
Look, it's like Equestria is kind of like Narnia with if you added Calamine and Talarmine to it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
technically subdivide it between the what's it called? Klug Town in the desert barren land. You know, that'd be like that's Calamine right there for the Narnia. Narnia is like Canterlot, Ponyville, and you know all of the regular Equestria, while the north of Talamines would be the Crystal Empire.
Yeah, like the Crystal Empire to me is like Canada.
Well, Crystal Empire is Canada.
So I'm looking at this really good layout of the map. Equestria is like the continent when everything was developing for the U.S. and other countries. So it looks like Equestria. Equestria.
You're talking about Pangea?
Kind of, somewhat. I'm trying right now to look at the map. Equestria, Hellberg is on the very tip end. So when you go really far north of Equestria, that's where
when you get to Yak Yak. That's when you get to Yak Yak Stan.
You're on the far west, which is the North Luna Island, North Luna Ocean, and it says Sweet Acorn Orchard, which is outside of Helmberg. Outpost.
That's not correct, though. Hold on, that's not correct because if you remember in the show, Rarity, it was in the Christmas special. Rarity went to Sweet Acorn Orchard to retrieve a hat that Derpy mistakenly sent to the wrong place. That was supposed to go to the Sweet Apple Acres. Sweet Acorn Orchard is in Ponyville.
Yeah, I'm looking right now on the map. There is the Wandering Woods. So, what were the East Coast cities? Let me go look at this real quick because I know
East Coast cities. You're talking about on the Ponyville map?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There is.
I think it's Manhattan, Philadelphia. Manhattan, Philadelphia. Is it Vancouver?
Yeah, it's all those. So, I think the city that was renamed from the My Little Pony, Maritime Bay, is just renamed from Multimere.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
So, what I think on the map, on the geography for the My Little Pony, for, Like, I don't know if anyone can see this on screen because I forgot to show that on screen. Sorry about that. So, what I'm looking right now is looking at the East Coast Griffinstone is right outside of the lakes. So, here's my question on a lot about model pony. How do they even get across? I know there's a train, but if you were to take a train route for all the country little states and all of Equestria, it would take you about 50 hours at most. About
Well, my guess is that when they do train in the show, they do cut like it's like the next scene they get it's during like a couple days later.
Yeah, the only places I think new Zephyr Heights is just right outside of Baltimore and Philadelphia, so it's in those mountains. Because I think what happened to all the cities during Equestria's second recession, during the second division also, is that everything in Equestria was divided by the three races. Now, there was no fourth, because all the other races were all divided. And I think I'm going to also say my theory about what happened to Twilight. I think she gave herself up with all the magic she has already dealt with in her entire 200 plus years, or more than maybe 500 at most. I don't know which. I'm just getting an estimation. So possibly she just thought in her head she can practice dark magic from Stars to World, which is taking magic from all races. And this kind of magic caused the entire Equestria range to completely have no magic. This includes even non-unicorns, including Karens or Kirans. Their basic magic's gone. They don't exist anymore. They possibly do exist, but they just extinct from a very small amount. Zebras and Yakistan and all the other countries are non-existent. Because since Equestria went through maybe a period of war, my only theory is that my theory is that
Go ahead.
I was trying to say that my theory is that Equestria did went through the war around some maybe Flurry Heart was with Twilight, and Celestia and Lunia and Cadence just disappear. All of them just disappear off screen, never to be ever seen again. So Twilight possibility wanted Flurry Heart to be the student that she wanted to have and teach, and all suddenly war breaks out.
Well, hey guys, sorry to cut you short here, Hunt, my friend. I might have to leave here for a little bit. My fiance is gonna want to call me here in a minute.
Okay.
So, but let's continue. I'm just giving you guys a heads up, a fair warning.
Okay.
So here's my theory on this. Yes. Oh, I think your theory is pretty solid. I mean, but there's still one flaw in it. Hence the fact that the show for G5 has not come out yet in the series. So maybe they're gonna reintroduce the Kirins, the Yaks, the Griffins, the Hippogriffs back in G5 through the series.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they just focused the attention on the three races being Unicorn, Pegasi, and Earth ponies regaining their magic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my theory. Is it's not that. Honestly, I still think the Twilight's going to make an appearance, or one of the princesses both make an appearance in the G5. Because if you remember correctly, Luna and Celestia are both immortal. They cannot die.
Yeah, they're immortal. But by the end of the show, they basically gave up their magic to age rapidly. So
what happened?
I was trying to say that if you were to look at it this way, maybe Cadence was still left alive, but I think with Flurry and her in Shining Armor, which is Twilight's, aunt and half sister in a sense, sister-in-law, and all the other stuff that I think happened. Maybe because of Celestia and Luna being aged completely up and died pretty fast in about less than 10 years because they had been non-aged up. So I think what happened is that they just died because they don't have the magic that keeps them immortal. So they will die like mortals.
No, that won't work either. That wouldn't work either because remember that they gave up their magic and gave it all to Twilight in season 4, and they had already been over 1,000 years old apiece. and they didn't shrivel up and die in that.
Maybe it's just going to take a lot of time before it does.
No, time would catch up with them really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case. So I don't think it
Well,
that.
here's the thing. Here's my thought on it that can shake both of yours. Not only did the magic return to everyone, including the royal sisters, but as for G5 and what happened to Twilight,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember the stained glass window where
Yeah.
it shows Twilight's cutie mark?
Yeah, in Zephyr
Yes.
Heights.
Yeah, it doesn't show Twilight herself making the items. It shows the embodiment of magic,
The
which is
embodiment
a
of magic.
keynote in my little theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I know Twilight's still
I
around.
think that
Twilight's going to be in season Gen 5. That's when
I think Twilight gave up her powerful magic to make the 3 items so that a terrible fate wouldn't befall Equestria once again.
Yeah, I think another thing I will point out, maybe because they defeated almost every villain there ever is, including ponies themselves. Twilight thought in her dark magic from Star Sword the Beard or whatever dark magic convocation she did, she basically decided to sacrifice herself completely, made a dark ritual, maybe in Ponyville or any other, maybe Cantalite itself, used as a giant ritual, and then made Equestria become pretty much a dormant, is what I would call it, because since she took all the magic from Equestria, then it got stored into those stones, and she got divided into 3 stones herself. She completely just doesn't even have a life. She just becomes stone or some kind of jewelry that has to be spread across. I think what she said in her maybe testimony is maybe keep these stones away from people that might cause problems. And then by the time, my theory is that it's just, she just decides to take all that magic so people can stop fighting and stop being divided. But over time, that completely faltered and made everyone bitter about her decision. And then they decided to make a new culture where they moved everyone across the entire continent of Equestria to the East Coast, where they can start anew. And they basically decided when there's no magic, all the stuff that Equestria has ran on, including Manhattan maybe it's been destroyed completely from this entire incident. And maybe they just decided, well, we need new places to move, places to use. Because with no Twilight and no ruler to keep a hand of them, and Flurry Heart being only a student still at this time too, possibility she decided to give messages to these individuals and say that it'd be one day before these people would come back.
Well, here's another theory. Now that we remembering Flurry Heart here, maybe it was Twilight might have transferred her magic and stored it inside of Flurry Heart.
It possibility is. It can possibly.
And Flurry Heart's going to be in the new set. Otherwise, why would they introduce Flurry Heart in the first place?
She possibility is some kind of because she is the element of light, so I wouldn't doubt that she would be heavily influenced later on.
Exactly. And then who better than Cozy Glow
Well,
to come back and fight?
in the stained glass windows at the end of G4, they show Cozy Glow as still rather young, but actually accomplishing something. We don't know what that something is, but it was important enough to be put into stained glass.
Yeah, a possibility was
And
a
for
prophecy.
something that important, I'd say she was around teens, young adult.
Yeah, I think what I can tell you right now, to my own theory, it's possibility more so of a prophecy that they wanted to accomplish. That was in the stained glass. That no one should have known Twilight's little prophecy that was supposed to happen. I think what Twilight wanted is to make people that's smart enough to not be divided, and allow them to accomplish having no division. It'd be like she wanted to see what she can do with her magic, her powerful alicorn magic that can easily destroy anything in its path. But she created a not an error or a mistake, but more so trying to figure out Star Wars Beard's magic of transferring magic into stones. You know, like the Harry Potter stuff that they try to like go off and stuff. Like I'm giving that kind
Yeah.
of theory. It's not like killing her. It's like more like giving the pieces that together. Maybe when they put the stones together, maybe that Twilight might form herself back together. She's possibly not dead. It's just that she just was in dormant, in limbo, kind of.
I mean, who knows? Well, I guess we'll find out when the time is right.
Yeah.
Hasbro decides to tell us.
But here's a little sad thing I can tell you. But here's my little take on this. Do you think by the time they try to explore this show, would it end pretty short, or do you think it will end the same amount of years as the old generation?
I don't think it's gonna go as long as Gen 4. I say maybe 5 seasons, 6 most.
Yeah, because there'd be no way to explore anymore. And if they get G6, it possibly will have to rewrite itself because you can't really expand upon so much onto just Generation 5, which I love Generation 5 in a way as a theory movie, and also get theories from other people that might express their opinion about how it can expand upon its arrivals. So my other theory is it's like, where is Sunny's other parents? Like, even though that's another thing I would say, where are the other parents of other individuals? I know Sprout and Hicks's mother is that pink pony and stuff. You know,
No, Sprout. That's not Sprout. That's not Hitch's mom.
possibility only Sprouts.
It is only Sprouts.
And you know what I will say about Sprout? He's just a mama's boy, just generically.
Of course he is.
And Hitch is just
But
a good side of trying to do his job as a lawful good character. Try to be.
he's a tryhard.
Yeah, it's like that type of try hard, good, lawfully good type of person that is very lawful.
Yeah.
Then Sunny is kind of in that middle area. Like, if I were to put all the characters from Generation 5 in order based on morals, the goody two shoes is always going to be Izzy. Always.
I don't like Izzy.
I like Izzy. I had her on my profile for a long time. She might be annoying, but I just think she's just cute.
She's not even cute. She's just, yeah.
I know, I understand. Like, I know you don't like her, but I do. But that's fine. But
Nope. I just support Zip. Princess Zip for me.
But here's my question: do you think Zip is kind of the lawfully good or neutrally good?
I think she's more of a lawfully chaotic.
Like in that kind of lawful area that is neutral chaotic, or is it chaotic as an evil?
No, like lawfully chaotic. Is chaotic, but it abides by the laws.
Yeah. And Pip, that's a bit lower.
No, Pip's not chaotic.
So what do you think she is?
I think she is honestly chaotic good.
How about Hitch and Sprout?
But Sprout is chaotically bad. Hitch is. I think Hitch might be neutral.
Mm-hmm. And how about the other ones? Like, let's say that Sunny, for instance.
Oh, I'd say Sunny's also neutral.
And who are the bad characters that you can easily say that can be in that, like, questionable neutral to bad only?
There is no. The only bad character there was Sprout.
Everyone else is, like, neutrally good and lawfully good?
Who?
Other characters, like background characters that have a very short time frame in the show or movie.
Probably the Queen. I think she's honestly, actually, I think the Queen is neutral. I think most of them are neutral, to be honest. The backgrounds.
Yeah, a lot of them are neutrals. Some of them are just straight up not even nice in some cases. Like some of them are just mostly neutrals, so it's just like background ponies from Earth ponies. I think for me the reason why I would say that Sprout's chaotically bad in a sense is because he has problems. Same thing with any character that's a villain. And the reason why I think it went through his head is because he was a narcissist or some sort. And to me, I think his mother gave him that opportunity to be bad and influenced on him.
Yes.
So I will say that his mother is slightly in that questionable area of some sort.
Right.
So what do you think about all the other characters in Generation 4 that are from good to evil?
Well, it depends on what characters. Are we talking background?
No, we're talking like characters that are on screen that have talking lines and some morals that can easily, you know, from good, neutral, and evil, or bad.
Alright, I'll start with the main six.
Okay.
Twilight. I think Twilight is neutral.
That sounds pretty good.
I think Fluttershy is chaotically good.
Definitely very good.
Rainbow Dash is bad.
Because of her actions.
Yes.
Like, what kind of... Are we just straight up saying typical bad, or we're saying chaotically bad?
No, just typical bad.
Yeah, just malicious and prank-like.
Applejack is neutral.
That sounds like her, and she's kind of stubborn, too.
Pinkie Pie, in my opinion, is chaotically evil.
But secretly evil itself.
Pinkie Pie is evil.
In a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, yes.
Why you say evil? Because of her ways of being really mad and very quickly upset?
More because of her ways of like to make cupcakes out of her friends.
Ah.
No, that is skin only.
And the fact that she's a pink, colorful pastel cartoon pony makes her evil.
That's funny how you say
That
that.
is not true.
But it's his opinion. That's just how...
But
yeah.
that's my opinion. But if we're gonna go, you know, with actual terms here on where she would sit, honestly, she'd sit on the precipice of just standard bad and neutral
Mm-hmm.
because of her psychotic depression.
Mm-hmm. We're the only other ones that are true.
Yeah, Pinky is. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to ask, who do you think is the, like, more closely to, like, good characters? Like...
Just Fluttershy.
Yeah. Now, what is the neutral characters? We already said Twilight is, like, the true neutral. Now, what other ones?
It was Twilight and Applejack.
Mm.
Rarity is... You know what? I see Rarity actually is good. Not, you know, really good, but good. Like, just normal good.
Mm-hmm.
Because she cares about, you know, she'll go out of her way to do things for others, but at the same time, she can be a real bitch.
Oh, she could. She always acts like that if she's in the mood for doing it. And I think after we get around that point, Spike is kind of neutrally good. Same as...
Spike's just gay.
Funny.
He's got his own freaking type here. It's called Rainbow.
Okay, so kind of bad.
He's I don't think he should have been a character. I'm sorry, but I have no love for Spike.
Now, is anyone else in that neutral stance? Like, already got Applejack, Twilight, and Rarity. Well, no, Rarity isn't good.
reason why I put Twilight or Master Jack as neutral is because of her honesty.
Yeah, and
It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing.
another neutral character is Starsword the Bearded.
I don't think Starsword's neutral. I think he's chaotically good.
Chaotically good. Then
Yes.
everyone else after that category of neutral. Now, what
I
character,
think
like, what do you think is mostly neutral characters out of the show, besides the ones that are main?
Octavia, Final Scratch. I'd say probably Light on Heartstrings. Honestly, Discord.
Yeah, he's not on. He's like the true neutral, where he doesn't really, he cares, but he tends to get himself in trouble sometimes.
Another one that actually I think is rather tame, but is technically evil, but I consider this individual neutral, is actually Queen Chrysalis.
Yeah, she's funny when she's angry.
And she's adorable.
Honestly, I would agree with that. No one should disagree with that because she's too cute. Her eyes are too adorable for that.
It's like you look at her, it's like you can't.
I don't see the appeal for Christy until she goes to the fandom.
Oh, if she goes to the fandom, she'll have nightmares for the rest of her life.
Oh, she's gonna have the worst day of her life of anyone because everyone will go off on her. Now, what other characters that are evil, like
That's especially the artist.
Oh, here's another one that's another villain that I consider neutral, and that would be King Sombra.
Yeah, because he died twice in the show,
and he's still around.
Like, to me, he's just doing what he's told. He's not doing on his own accord.
Good guys.
What other people? Like, after we get through the neutrals now...
Hun.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I was trying to ask, like, what other people are after some of the villains that are neutral? Like, I think Trixie. Now, what about Trixie on that point?
I think she's just annoying.
She's just like Spike and Rainbow, but maliciously a bit higher. Then after we get to the point where we're on the bad, like, there's only like 4 or 5 bad characters I think that we can just put on. I think another one that's just maliciously bad too, but kind of neutral at the same time with the bad. Like, I think we already said that Cozy Glow would be kind of that category. Kind of. Then, after we get through that bad side of neutral, then we get true evil, which I think is Grogard. No, Grogard's a bit higher. T-Rex, on the other hand, is slightly a lot higher on true evil. He's like a game player, kind of. He's not as his brother, which is, you already know, Grogard's Bell. And Grogar himself is kind of purely evil. But another thing is, with the princesses, we have Twilight already in that neutral. Then Luna and Celestia. I think Celestia is slightly in the not neutral, but slightly bad, because her actions do kind of play a part with slightly evil. Then Luna is being kind of neutral too, so Luna will be kind of in between lower than Celestia on the on the neutral part, because she does put herself front with her friends. Then after all of that, I think we do have Cadence, lawfully, chaotically good because she goes with her husband always, lovers, and that shebang. Then after we get through of the princesses, there is Flurry Heart, where it is neutrally true, neutrally chaotic. Then that adds up another one. Then I think after all of that, then we have those other ones that are afterward, which are who else? Orion, what do you think is after all the bad and neutral characters? What do you think happens after that?
Well, in D&D, after lawful evil, neutral evil, chaotic evil,
Mm-hmm.
around those lines, I would say after lawful evil is true evil, like not neutral evil, like not quite lawful, but not chaotic either. Just doing their own thing.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the list of people that are, good to evil. And some people want to put the neutrals. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon are neutral evil. Neutral bad, neutral evil. The little kids in the show are mostly a bit lower on the spectrum of good. It'd be like Diamond Tiara is evilly neutral. Then after that, Apple Bloom is slightly in that questionable range because she doesn't listen to her sister Applejack. She loves her sister, but at the same time, I think she is slightly.
And she did try to sabotage the golden apple cart, which actually succeeded.
Well, she stole it, and the good hearts are going to get something. That's basically what she wanted to do. I'm going to go take a break real quick, and I'll be back on momentarily. So we're back on the point of characters from good to evil. So we already said most of the neutral characters for the kids. So you already said that Apple Bloom is kind of that questionable area of that format, right? That questionable area where she stole something, she took in potions, she have lied.
Yes.
So yeah, she is kind
Yeah,
of...
she's done a lot of bad things, but I mean, she's a child. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm. Now what about the other two of the CMC? What do you think their stances are after we already done Apple Bloom being a bit higher than the other two?
Well, yeah, they're chaotic, but they're not really on the evil spectrum. I'd put them at a chaotic good.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, they've done stuff, but not on the scale of Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, or Apple Bloom.
Yeah, those two are like a bit higher on the neutral evil. So we're talking like a bit over Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara with Apple Bloom being on that good and evil. So we're talking like neutrally evil and kind of bad.
Yeah, I don't rate them as on the. I do rate them chaotically, but not neutrally or evil. Just the bottom left hand corner of chaotic good. Like, better than Silver Spoon, Apple Bloom, Diamond Tiara, those three.
Yeah, not here's
like where Discord 6. Yeah.
Yeah. And character morals are a thing with My Little Pony, but like the alignment chart really helps me out with, you know, characters that have certain instances where they can you know, express how they feel. It's just like, yeah, like you have good, evil, and I would say that some characters, it gets to that point where it starts to become where, yeah, I did this and that. I did, you know, your morals speak very louder than words when it comes to doing that. Like, I think the alignment chart is the best way to express how you feel about certain things. Like, I feel like when people that say that Diamond Tiara is some good character, I think that she did some redeeming, but not enough. Silver Spoon is somewhat redeeming, even though that both of them are still questionable. So I think Skulu is a bit higher in between, you know, the three, because she does get herself in some trouble, and she does tend to be a little bit reckless.
Yeah, I mean, there was that incident with the washouts.
Don't forget about Bab Seed.
And Skulu was more hesitant on it.
Oh, and definitely it is.
I mean, Apple Bloom just... Yeah, I mean, Apple Bloom just went to straight off her cousin.
So that questions a lot of other things, too. I think I've already almost, we're getting close to the end of the entire stream. But what are your we're gonna finish up tonight's stream with the last few about what we think about the evil side of characters. Now, when we're already out of good to bad. Now, what about bad to evil? So, who are the people that we think that are bad to evil, pure bad and pure evil?
Sombra's gotta be the worst of the worst, along with Tyrek. I mean, those two have next to no redeeming quality.
I will agree.
I mean, at least Sombra looks cool.
He looks cool, but he's very intimidating. And also, he has enslaved an entire population. Tyrek has almost destroyed Equestria more than once. Now, Grogar, that's a whole nother level for another day about what he has done.
Okay, Grogar was Discord at the end. He didn't mean anything bad by it, but yeah, bad things did come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the original Grogar, that's a whole nother can of worms.
The first generation My Little Pony has some pretty questionable characters, let alone some pretty questionable actions.
I mean, the first generation was dark when you think about it.
More dark than some people would say yes to it. Because I think for me, after we get to that...
I mean, there was the original...
Hang on. So, what I was also trying to say, too, is I think also... Right after we get through with T-Rex and Golrard, then you have Starlight Glimmer. I'm going to say right now, if anyone...
She's been reformed.
Yeah, she's the only one that has been reformed. But her old self does have some purely evil tendencies of destroying people. And
yeah. She was essentially Pony Hitler.
oh boy. She's like the definition.
That episode.
But really, that is just how it is with her. She is just... Holy moly, did she went from being more evil to even all the villains alone. The Equestria Girl villains are not really that good because...
It was
Yeah?
Yeah, for when Starlight made her first appearance, it was equal or nothing for her. And she didn't take nothing for an answer.
That's what she has her morals at. And what do you think other true nature of evil characters? Now, Trixie is not really evil. She's just maliciously. Bad dragons. The bad dragons in the show are a little bit in between maliciously bad and just bad in general. Like every other character after that one, it gets kind of wonky with some of the characters from the Crush Girl movies and some of the shorts. Nightmare Moon is
I don't think
Nightmare Moon is only neutrally evil.
Hmm?
The depiction of Nightmare Luna in Sordis from the My Little Pony Season 7 episode. What do you think Celestia's other part, her other evil self, is under?
Ooh. I would put Daybreaker with Nightmare Moon. I mean, yeah, it was just a dream sequence, but could have been brought up. But the Rising of Daybreaker could have been the same as the Rising of Nightmare Moon.
Exactly. Another character that is not that evil is the Pony of Shadows. He's just bad.
Well, Pony of Shadows was a completely different entity than the pony in the Pony of Shadows.
Yep.
Or at least that's what I would like to believe.
Yeah, because his is not really too bad. He redeemed himself, just like Trixie and Starlight have. But really, it's kind of that neutral evil.
Yeah, and he did free himself from the darkness with a bit of help.
Another person I think in the show too is kind of evil too. Like, for our tragic ponies, the ponies that are not really good at all, but not really any demon qualities. From the Model Pony creepypastas, I think the only one that's truly just evil in general, but questionable, is Side Twilight from the creepypasta. Another one that is purely evil too is Pikmin and Diane Pie from the Cupcakes. Chaotically evil. So there's a bunch.
Yeah, I can see that.
Then in Rainbow Factory, it was Rainbow Dashers being completely evil, like pure evil, or just true evil in a sense. Candy Mare is another one.
Yes, and we have to talk about, and we can't forget about Sunnytown.
Oh, Sunny. Oh, Sunburst. I forgot him.
Sunnytown, yeah.
Oh,
No, not Sunburst. Sunnytown.
Oh, that one. Is that from the Crush Girl movies?
Zombie ponies.
Ah.
I played a game that gave me nightmares for weeks.
Which one?
I know you get to play as Apple Bloom. Twilight turns into a statue. I don't really remember much of it because when it got scary, I noped out of the game. But yeah, basically that entire village, except for one, is evil. Like, no redeeming quality.
Yep, that's what games do sometimes, is make characters become irredeemably unqualified. I think that's most of what we had tonight, but I think for tonight I'll get off for tonight. So we did a 2-hour thing. But I'm going to tell everyone right now, I know that I wish I made everyone a little bit more entertained tonight, but this is the first time me doing it, but I hope everyone has a good night and a good stream. So you guys can be able to watch this on your digital DVR or whatever you call. You can join chat and stuff later on, but have a nice night for anyone. And I'll begin off